Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Okay, so that I don't know what happened just now. I must have clicked something that discontinued our last connection. So whatever, we're starting all over again. Welcome, welcome to the Clarity Hotline. I'm going to get YouTube on here, or sorry, Instagram. Oh, bear with me today. Checking connection, making sure we have connection. Hello, welcome, welcome, Clarity family. I mean, Clutter Free family to the Clarity Hotline. I do that all the time. Mess that up. Okay, so obviously it's a stray from the norm here where I normally am because things are different. I'm no longer in my usual digs. And so things are going to be different. And that is just such as life, right? Of especially a mom. I don't even hold myself to much these days. Um, except consistency like today getting on the hotline. This is important to me. As you all know, I am a broken record, so let's just make sure I have at least some light. I have a major glare when I look at Instagram. I have a major glare when I look at YouTube, so let's just go with it. And so yeah, I am obviously in a new place and things are just all brand new. And um yeah, I don't know what if somebody comes on, maybe we'll talk about what's going on with me. But for the most part, I do want to say that I'm pretty sure we're in another Cancer moon. I don't know if people are feeling like really heavy right now. Just know that it's natural, it's normal, it's part of the flow of life right now. That it is a are we still in a water moon? Yeah, we're in water moon. So it's probably going to be pretty heavy. Um, for me, I'm coping. I'm managing with the heaviness. But oh, yeah, sometimes you just want to have a good cry session and or just I don't know, do something to keep yourself healthy and well. That is big time. This is a probably a great time to slow down if you're feeling like life is just coming at you really hardcore, then just know that it's a great time to kind of slow down and not expect a lot of yourself. At least that's what I'm doing. I'm lightening my load a lot because I do have a lot going on. Today is the first week of homeschooling my two boys. And yeah, it's chaos. It's chaos. I had a call with my HST, kind of an emergency help me call, because where is everything? I literally, I don't know if you guys understand the magnitude of what teachers go through. I'm sure it's the same. I'm not a teacher, but but this is like that in that I have so many links, so many things I've got to find and look through and access links and new emails to log into, new emails. They give you a new email. And it's feeling, it's all over the place, just trying to keep yourself together. I have a Mac, so I'm using my stickies and I just kind of have all my logins in one place. And I just started that this week because I realized how all over the place everything is. Even if it's in your inbox, it's all over the place. And I am one who likes to get organized really quickly, or else I can't stay scattered. I can't stay scattered for long. So if I feel like I'm scattered, it's a problem. And I quickly come to the rescue as far as, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? And we fix it. We make it happen. And so right now, I think how I'm trying to organize myself as a new homeschool mom, I've got kind of all my logins in one place, or I'm getting them all in one place because I recognize there's quite a few, all the apps. There's like a portal. There's a parent portal. There is a a hub type place where you do your ordering. And if you're a homeschooling parent, then you know what I'm talking about. And but it's just a lot. There's a lot of logins as far as all the different apps, and then also getting into your Chromebook or getting into all that stuff, all the tech. So I'm getting myself together. But I had an emergency call with my HST, my homeschool teacher, and I just needed to one, vent, and two, like vent around like, what am I doing wrong? I feel like this is so much and I have to figure it out sooner than later. I need to to just be on my game. And I'm hard on myself in that way. I need to be on my game sooner than later. And she was just like, the first 2 weeks are like this. So just give yourself a break. So I'm going to give myself 2 weeks of a break as far as just getting really organized and, oh, okay, I got it all together. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. And there's a couple things. One on the video that dropped on Tuesday this week, this past Tuesday, I talked about something that I kind of want to talk about here. I'm not even going to take the questions that have come through. I'm not even going to touch those right now. I just want to say this is we'll treat this like kind of a PSA because it's something that I'm going through. And it is so important in times of transition and change that which is happening for us, with me and the boys, they're out of school and it's a new kind of school and mommy's the teacher and they're like, do I call you mommy or teacher right now? And I was like, whatever you want. I don't, call me mommy. I don't care. But teacher, if teacher feels better, gets you kind of in a more, if it drops you into that state of mind of being at school and wanting to learn, and then let's do that. Let's, call me teacher. But we're all adjusting when you're in the time of transition. It's hard to stay focused on kind of the bigger picture. I didn't see for myself homeschooling at the start of the year. And so I still had the same goals that I had as at the start of the year for myself and my family. One of the goals that I had at the start of the year for my boys is that they were in a school that they loved and that there wasn't a lot of stress around that. And granted, there is a lot of stress right now coming into our new homeschooling situation, but it feels a little more within my control, which feels a little bit better than not being in as much control. Not that having control issues is a good thing. It just is a thing. It is what it is. And so I'm not going to judge myself, but I do like having the boys home and figuring out kind of what their learning style is. And if that's even relevant, I just approaching learning in all different angles, all different ways, and giving myself time to master this new road we're on. Because I think it's fun, and something about me is I do kind of dive in deep on this. So once I kind of get my bearings with regards to what's required of me by the state of California and what's required of me as far as the charter school we're enrolled with, then I think I'll be able to. And then once I get kind of the classroom set up, or at least some type of framework for my day, even though I want it to still be loose and light for them, there is going to be somewhat of a framework because I think I'll need it. I'll need it and they'll need it. I think we need something that's fairly consistent, that's not all over the place, not all scattered, because we all can use somewhat of a disciplined day, because it's too chaotic if without it. So just if you're feeling chaotic and scattered, know that there's something that could use some organization in your life. So tap into that. Tap into finding what are the loose ends that need to be tied up. Who can help you with things so it's not just all you. And I'm calling on my village. I'm definitely calling on my village and using my people. And for one, their grandma, my mom, that's a big one right now for us, and will probably continue to be. That she's there for us, and she's there in such a big, amazing way, and she's ready and willing, to signing up to the task. And we have moved in with her, my mom. My boys and I have moved in with my mom, and because I'm going through divorce. And so that is the big transition. There's the moving through divorce and homeschooling my boys kind of all in one fell swoop, happening simultaneously. And even though I smile, it's very I don't want to label things. I'll be honest. I don't want to label things as sad or bad, or I think we're just every day learning something new about ourselves in the midst of it, about our resilience, our courage, our bravery, our love, our ability to shine in the darkness, and definitely finding our light, finding our way in this totally unknown new normal. And not that it's going to even look like this tomorrow, you know. My ex and I are co-parenting in the best way possible, and we're working on that. If any of you are or have gone through divorce, are going through divorce, are co-parenting with someone, you know the struggle. You know, like the things that have to kind of be worked on and through. And that's definitely where we're at right now. But I would say in this time, what I find is the most difficult is to stay grounded and centered, because I don't have my normal routine. With the kids home all day every day, then I find myself trying to fill time with something that's engaging or educational or stimulating or exciting. Um, and I find myself putting a lot of that requirement on me and my ability to come through with that. And it can get to be a lot. It definitely weighs me down. And if I'm not in a good place mentally or emotionally, it's really hard to do that. And that's why what I find the most difficult is to find that center, find that grounding. And it does look like me, and I'm not in my place, you know. I'm not in my home. I'm at my mom's, so it's I'm not on my own turf. And I think that's probably where I'm finding the most kind of jarring moments is I don't have a place that I normally go to maybe just take a breath. It reminds me to breathe, or immediately centers and calms me, because I see it and I recognize peace or something like that. Everything's new and it's hers, even though she says, make it yours, make it yours. That's going to come in time. It's definitely not going to be this month, feeling like everything's all in place the way I want it to be. It's definitely not going to be that. Um, Soon enough I've got to find my new techniques, my new ways of tapping into my strength, my courage, my center, my calm, my peace. Because yeah, where I could just take a quick deep breath in any given moment at home, at my home, then I am not really finding that here. I am taking my breaths, granted, for sure. We are getting outdoors quite a bit, going to parks, because that is my peace. That is my happy place for sure. Just being outside in nature. And the boys love it too. And that is what I think I am. That's where I'm. Well, I have a lot of peace here, though, at my mom's. I will say it's very peaceful here. She's such a loving support, and that is kind of the overall tone, the overall vibe here is spaciousness. Okay, so it's good, it's really good. I just haven't kind of tapped into my routines, my rituals yet by any stretch of the imagination. I've got to find that. And yeah, in the meantime, just breathing through it. That is my MO. Finding that space to breathe, because yeah, since I've been here, so we've had the weekend here and the last few days. Today's Thursday. And the only kind of meditation I've done has been right before bed, is just kind of trying to center and ground and fall asleep without feeling like I'm just crashing on the pillow. So there have been attentional setting myself to sleep kind of time, and that's what saves me. I just don't want to abandon the things that I know to work, that have always worked. I don't want to abandon those things, because that is the minute things get way out of hand. And I don't live that life anymore. I don't live a life where I lose all sense and sensibility. Like I definitely want to tap in at all times to who I am, what I believe, what I know to be true about myself and the situation and my boys, right? Even in the most stressful times when they're just not doing what teacher says, I'm just like, okay, hold on. This is what they had their whole time in school. It's like being corralled and channeled and like cattle into their places, right? And I want to be less of the don't do that, don't do that. Not that I don't think the teachers that they were at, I feel like we're definitely a progressive society in the for the most part, as far as the schools I've chosen to put them in, and the teachers that am entrusting them with, I feel like they've been progressive enough to know, like we're trying not to say the no and don't do that and call them out as being bad and punishing in public, like definitely pulling them aside and with calm voice approaching the situation. Hey, let's talk about that. And what happened? Tell me, how are you feeling? And there's that approach. And I find myself trying to do that, but at the same time, also trying to maintain composure and control of the situation so it doesn't get too out of hand and we come back to our focus, our task. And my HST teacher had to say to me today, like, remember, they're just 4 and 5. They have like attention spans of maybe 15 minutes, and then you got to move on to a new activity, new task. And so I've been definitely doing that to the point where today we were just all over the place running around. I was just letting them, after we had our circle time, which I love that idea of circle time and connecting and centering in the room together. Uh, we've had that time. So I just kind of let them run around rampant. And I will tell you, this is what happened. So um, I have been in a funk. I have been in a funk, and not in any way that's totally rerouting me or derailing me or discouraging me. Just in a funk as far as like trying to, tap in. And one thing is important is to always maintain a sight of your vision, the future goal you have. So I have a vision for the year. I have a vision for my life, and I tap into it at all times. The rule of manifestation is to act as if the wish is fulfilled already, right? Act now as if the wish is fulfilled. And so you just want to tap in to remembering that this is the vision that you have for yourself. This is where you might be in the observed state, but in your mind and heart and body and soul, that you are this person, right? This identity of having it all figured out, having all the truth and the joy and the bliss and the excitement and the riches, right? And the wealth that you want for yourself and the opportunities I want to give my boys, I have access to it all, right? That's my truth. And tapping into that is what is the hardest part, right? Centering back into that and maintaining that, because the more I stay grounded and rooted in my vision, the better. And I recognize that has been far from what's normal right now. I've got to find those new rituals to tap back into vision and look at my vision board. I don't even think I've looked at my vision board in the last week. So, tapping into my vision board and doing all that, right? Whatever your rituals are. Well, so anyway, today my son is using my phone and he just wanted the camera. So he gets the camera. And the funniest thing is he can unlock my phone. And I just cracked up. I'm like, you have my eyes, because this phone thinks you're me, because it's totally unlocked. I don't know if your kids can unlock your iPhones, but my son can unlock my freaking phone. And so he's in my photos. And mind you, I'm away, so my face isn't hovering over it to unlock the phone. Like I'm away, and he's got the phone unlocked, and he's flipping through the pictures, and he scrolls all the way back to like my Brazil pictures, like the time of my life, the epicest moment of my life in Brazil, and traveling and being a digital nomad and all that. And I was just like, oh, brought back to like, whoa, okay, this is what I needed. I needed to see these pictures. And honest to God, that totally was like, oh, I needed that. Like the total breath to my soul happened when I saw the pictures of my time in Brazil. And I'm just like, and seeing me like, oh, so young. Whoa, so young and vibrant. So wild and free. And whoa, different times are different right now. Um, okay. Oh, hi. Hi, Jen. Let's see. What a great example of living in the moment to stay grounded. There are so many unknowns, but you're working through the challenges as they come while appreciating the good things. Yeah. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. Um, and I don't know who else is watching with us on YouTube. But we got some people joining on. Hello. We've got some people joining. Hey, I owe you a phone call, by the way. We've got some people. I was just talking about how like disoriented and scattered I am right now, and how I love you. I love you so much. How disoriented and scattered I am that I've not even called anybody or like probably let anybody know that I'm here in San Diego. Um, but yeah, I don't know who else is watching on YouTube. Thanks for asking that question. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on and express how disoriented and discombobulated I am right now, and how I'm coming into my new routine, my new rituals to keep me centered and grounded, and be here for the boys, your brothers, in the best way possible. And yeah, it's a challenge, but I'm smiling through it, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And part of the vision that I had for the boys, like I was, if I can get back to that, for the boys at the top of the year, was for them to be in like a happy modern school where the teachers are great and they understand each other and they're not like held to some crazy strict, I don't know, measuring stick that they're just not gonna be anytime soon, probably, right? And who knew that the modern school would be home with me, at least for now. That's where we're at, trying to, I mean, even just doing this clarity hotline, this is probably, maybe I did a little bit of work this week, but not really. I did maybe an hour's worth of work on Tuesday. And then I've got the clarity hotline today. And that's probably the only work I've done as far as my business, and tapping into my business. I literally, yeah, had to go on vacation. I'm out fishing, guys. I'm out to lunch this week because I need it. And I hope you do too. I hope you guys, when you're walking into something brand new, you put things on hold. I can't imagine keeping the same schedule I had before moving. I can't imagine keeping that schedule. Um, Not that it was super rigorous. I definitely am trying to keep things light and lean. This is my new MO. This is my new standard of living, light and lean. And how can I simplify to the best of my ability? Everything, everything across the board. And sounds like a good week. Oh, Jen, it has been one heck of a week. Last week was, whew, a doozy. Um, that's when I took the boys out of school. And so this week we're already like, everything's completely like a 180 switch of the light, and it's something completely different. But where was I? Even like this setup right here, I was just like, okay, let's pick a corner of the house, turn on the laptop and the phone and get on the clarity hotline. And I have a couple more things I need to do today and tomorrow that I've slotted into my schedule. I've already let my support team know that this is what I need help with. And yeah, eventually, I think things will start to kind of fall more in place and be more natural. So people aren't just kind of pulled on a whim to help me out. And they actually know, like, okay, you need me at this time on this day every single week. And that will be great if we could come to establish that type of organized schedule. That would be lovely for me as both mother and teacher. That would be lovely. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I just really had that PSA because that is what is working for me, is taking the time to remember, like, okay, we're doing all this because of this, right? We're doing all this because of this particular goal. And let's not forget that, because this is part of the process. And one thing I love about Neville Goddard's teachings, because that's who I'm listening heavily to right now, that him and David R. Hawkins, author and psychoanalyst, they're both talking about just kind of maintaining that equilibrium, right? Finding your center, remember acting as if the wish is fulfilled. So acting in the wish fulfilled, And what does that mean? It really does mean embodying the state of mind, the state of consciousness, the state of awareness that you want to embody all the time, that you ultimately want to embody in your vision come true, right? And your dreams come true. So live the dream now. And that is why you've got to pull yourself up, put your panties on, like your big panties on, and like you you go into this with, you muster up whatever courage, because courage is higher than despair and grief on the levels of consciousness. The ladder, the map of consciousness, the ladder of emotions, like hot courage is higher than grief and fear and guilt and shame and all the things that you could fall into when you think about, oh yeah, you know, where I'm co-parenting now, right? I've got um you know, I'm divorcing. That could fall, that could drop you into this state of despair and discouragement and all the things that are beneath the level of consciousness and the level of peace, the level of joy that you want to be with every single day of your life. We start now. We start now. We don't keep it for later. Thank you. I know. Thank you. Keeping up with it. We start now. We embody the centered emotion, the as much joy as we can feel in the hardest moments. And that's us climbing the levels of consciousness, so that we're not stuck in shame and grief and guilt. And those are the lowest vibrations that we could possibly exist in. And imagine staying there for day in, day out. And that is where I've been before. I've been stuck in guilt, despair, grief for days on end. It's called depression. And it is awful, right? And we know it. We know it when we feel it. I'm like, okay, oh, hold on, I'm depressed. And but I don't say that anymore to myself. Firstly and foremost, I don't say that to myself. I am depressed, because what you put behind I am is your truth. And I am, sometimes just stop there. I am. And we're going to fill in the blanks as we get the courage and the motivation again, and the momentum at our back, and the alignment with God, the divine, the universe, and all the good that flows. We're gonna fill that in as we go, but we're not gonna fill it in now when we're at the depths of despair. We're not gonna fill it in with I am depressed anymore. That's not the mantra we keep anymore. It's, I'm happy. And here we can tap into gratitude, right? I am here. I'm alive. I am in this body. I still got both arms, two legs, and I can think and breathe. And I got a mouth to talk and do these live streams and talk to you and chat with the people I love. I have that. I may not have the energy for all of it at once. Definitely don't have the energy for all of it at once. I was venting to my homeschool teacher today that I'm going nonstop from like 6 a to 11 p when I go to sleep, and when I allow myself to turn it off and be like, okay, I get to sleep now. I don't have to figure out my life every second of every day. Yeah, it is. I'm aware, and that is enough. I love that. Thank you, Jen. Jen said on YouTube, I am aware, right? I mean, that just even that is beautiful. I love that, because if you recognize that, oh, I don't want to fill in the blanks with I am depressed, immediately you can fill it in with I am aware. I'm aware of the difference. I'm aware that I'm no longer choosing to have that conversation between my ears, that I'm anything other than whole and beautiful. And I mean, as much as it's hard to even say the good things about yourself when you're not feeling your best, um even saying it was like, oh, okay, I can choose to believe that instead of the opposite. I can choose to believe that I am good and I'm doing the best for my boys and doing the best for my family, and everything's gonna work out. Everything is gonna be great. And another thing Neville Goddard says is, act as if Things always work out for you. Act as if things always work out for you. Um, absolutely. Act as if things always work out for you. And so that's what I tell myself a lot. I think on the drive even down, so I was living in LA. Now I'm in San Diego, in case you haven't known. SoCal girl. I don't know that I could leave this area, but so even on my drive, sometimes I'm just like, um, act as if it always works out for me. And I'll say things always work out for me. Things always work out for me. Things always work out for us. And the people I love, my family, things always work out for us. And it's true. You'll find all the ways that that is true the minute you say it. And this is why gratitude is so important. And to kind of go back to what I was saying with the I am, and not having anything necessarily after the I am is better than saying I am depressed, or falling into kind of the usual conversation that maybe isn't feeling as good. Picking a new thing to say about you and yourself and the situation, and even the other person, right? If you're fighting with somebody, saying something else about them than what is awful, is the minute that they become something less awful to you, to where you can hold compassion and trust again, and right, things that just, I mean, all around just feel a lot better. But so if you can only sit with I am and breathe, I am the breath, I am, then start there, right? Until you can start to fill in with something that immediately conjures up this spirit of gratitude. And I am grateful that I'm aware, right? I'm grateful that I'm aware. Um, I'm grateful that by expressing myself on these clarity hotlines, by coming on and honestly being myself, being vulnerable, telling you guys everything, dishing it out for me, and hopefully helping you in something will hopefully help you. That's the point of these, is by expressing myself and not holding it back, not suppressing or repressing, then immediately I don't have to be depressed, right? I'm not depressing myself. I heard one YouTuber creator say, a YouTube creator, I don't know. Anyway, YouTuber say that depression is the opposite of expression, and I totally have taken that on as my own understanding of the truth. I absolutely, I mean, immediately you feel it in your body when you're not expressing something and letting something out. Then yeah, you're holding it in, and you're cluttering your insides and keeping it stuck there, and as if you're not enough, as if you're not able to, you're not capable, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, people don't care about you, people don't come on live. So thank you for coming on live. It really does mean the world to me, to not be doing this alone. This is awesome. And that is the point, right? So expressing yourself is the opposite of depression. And so as often as you can, creatively express yourself, get out there and scream and rant and rave, sing at the top of your lungs when you feel good. And because when you embody that state, you get used to embodying that state more, and it's easier to tap into the opposite of depression. And it's that simple. Just doing it once is often enough. Doing it once is often enough to make it a new habit, to start to be like, okay, well, that felt different than feeling depressed or feeling low and feeling down. Granted, yeah, of course, we can have our down days. Absolutely. We can have our cry, our moments to just cry and feel all the feels that aren't so pleasant, aren't butterflies and sunshine. Feel them. In fact, that's important too. It is important to feel all the feels across the spectrum, that all the colors of the rainbow, because that is the point of life. I think we're here to experience it all so that we know the difference. And I heard once that pain is the sign that tells us the distance we are from God. How much it hurts is our distance from God. Because if it hurts, then we know we're beneath the problem. We're letting the problem rest as if it can hold us down, versus, coming closer to God, and in his truth and his divinity and his light and in his peace, that the pain just really has no place, right? There is no darkness where there is light. And that's kind of pain is just kind of a representation of how far we are from God, our distance from God. I thought that was really beautiful. I heard that years ago in church, and I was like, oh yeah, that is it right there. And so yeah, we feel all the feels, but we don't have to label it. I told you kind of at the start of this call, I'm not labeling much anymore, especially as I'm trying to get my footing. I'm not going to label things as if that's what I'm walking into. No, that is not what I choose to believe about the situation or myself. Um, I am, yeah, um, we're a walking prayer, and we're a work in progress, and we will see, right? We shall see. If you know the story of the farmer, you know the story where it's the Chinese farmer, but there's also other um sayings of there's also other versions of that same story. So there's a Chinese farmer, if you look it up, and then there's also, I think, an Arabic poem that talks about a monk crossing the forest, or crossing the desert. Anyway, the moral of the stories are that this particular farmer, the monk, whoever, is coming across, like, okay, so this happened, and the son goes, the son is, so he has a son, and I'm totally wrapping this up for you. So this farmer has a son, and the son falls ill, and everyone's all frantic around how ill the son is, and the farmer just says, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to say how bad, how awful, oh my gosh, and how could he be so sick, and oh my gosh, and be desolate in the idea that he's gone to tomorrow. I'd rather, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to settle on anything right now. I'm just going to be here in the moment, be with him, be here for him, hold him in the highest esteem, that he can get through this. I have confidence that he is well and healthy and whole. That is where I'm living, right? And then, so he falls ill, and then the draft happens, and everyone who is well, all the boys that are well, get drafted into the army, and they're killed by the thousands, these boys that go off to war. And the townspeople are to the farmer, oh my gosh, it's so great that he's ill, because look, he didn't have to go to war and die. The farmer still, we'll see. We'll see. um we'll see. That's it. I'm grateful that we're still getting him healthy and whole, but I'm grateful he's not dead at war or whatever. We'll see. And then, the next day, uh or the next year, I don't know, whatever else happens, right? He's getting married. Still, the farmer, will see. And you would think that the farmer's got something wrong with him. Okay, you're weird. Hello, celebrate. But honestly, the closest to divinity is centered and calm, right? Calm, cool, collected. Because the extreme of the extreme on any side is just, the kind of two sides of the same coin. Is the extreme of, not being centered, is the extreme of some version of force, of control, of clutter, of, I got to throw in the clutter thing. I'm the declutterist, because that is what is clogging the system, clogging us and holding us back. So it's some version of that. I mean, even excitement. I know, dare I say, even excitement is some form of clutter if you hang on to it too much, because then you're going to think that, oh, everything has to be exciting to be true. No, because the opposite, the fear and excitement feel the same, right? So it's not necessarily, it's opposite. It's actually the same thing. It's the same physiological sensation and vibration, but it's not, it's, if you come back to, like, okay, what, this doesn't identify who I am. This doesn't make me who I am, doesn't say anything about me, good or bad. It just is. Then it's like, oh, okay, you come back to center. You're not labeling yourself. You're just letting the excitement come, letting it go, letting the fear come and letting it go, right? And coming back. You're kind of toggling, you're playing the game of life and letting it be beautiful, really the flow of life. And I think in these human bodies, these flesh meat suits, as some people call them, we are just these spiritual beings having this human experience, and it's on purpose. We came into this human fleshly form to have an experience of all these emotions. So why wouldn't we? And we have the mental awareness, the mental capacity to be different than, you know, our kin, the ape or the buffalo or the bunny, you know, or the dog. Like, we're different than even our counterparts, right? Our other fleshly counterparts. We're different because we've got kind of that, the mind to be just cognizant and conscious of and aware of what's happening, what's going on, and able to put labels on things, right? That's our free will. We're able to put label on things if we wanted to. But we don't have to. We don't have to. There's also that choice. We don't have to put the label. We can be like the farmer, and we'll see. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm grateful. I'm healthy. I'm whole. I am. I'm here. Jen, I'm rediscovering my faith and it's bringing me so much peace. Yeah, tell me about that, Jen. How is that looking for you? What are you doing? Talk to me. I'm here. We got, well, I like to end on the hour. But I did start late, so story of my life here on this Clarity Hotline, trying to get myself together. I used to start right on the dot, 12 o'clock. But 12 noon Pacific is our start time. And I've been, anyway. But on the replay, the people watch the replay and it's the full hour, unless I have something to do, which I do have to get back to my boys, because, this is when you have help, you have your start and your end time with them. So if I don't start early enough to get myself set up, which this did take a second. I know it's pretty, where am I, right? What is this even? Where are you, Yvette? It's not like it took you much time, but I did have to get enough light, so that I wasn't completely washed out by a dark room, because this behind me is a window. And I'd rather it be this in my background than suitcases. Even though that would have been kind of cool too and eclectic. So Jen, or, if you don't have time, okay. Jen says, I've never been, well, I don't have to read it out loud if you don't want me to. Yeah. And that's funny. So it's interesting. And I think on YouTube too, there's a lot of faith-based creators. I think there are a lot of faith-based creators. I'm not subscribed to any one thing except surrender. And while I can honor your beliefs and your faith and whatever that looks like for you, and however it manifests in your life as a daily practice and daily beliefs and things like that, I can honor and respect that, and probably even vibe with you on it, right? And I'll go to church with whoever invites me. Honestly, I grew up in the church. My dad was Baptist, my mom Catholic. I grew up in both churches. The minute I left my house, went to college, I went to an apostolic church, and loved that. In fact, I found so much peace in that, even more so than Catholicism or the Baptist tradition. But I think it all just, you just take what resonates. Really, honestly, I always took what resonated and left the rest. I might have done the rites and the rituals of the Catholic faith, because I went to Catholic church. I did a lot of, honestly, I did them all through confirmation and marriage. I did all the sacraments of the Catholic faith. I did them all. And not to say anything really penetrated me much, except maybe First Communion. That felt really special to me. And there's an indoctrination in that even too. And I am not one to put anybody down for their beliefs and their faith and their walk in life. Whatever serves you on rising within that map of consciousness, right? From grief and despair to love and courage. And that's not even that's not even enlightenment. Enlightenment is at the top, right? That ajna and the crown chakra. Like that's where we want to be, right? Ultimately, that's the self-actualized Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's our self-actualized place, is enlightenment and wholeness. That is clarity. That honestly is clarity. I follow clarity. Where I'm clear and where I'm peace, that's home. That's what I know. And there are a lot of faith-based creators on YouTube. And since I'm on YouTube mostly and chatting with somebody on YouTube over here, um, uh, I think we're finding that too. I don't know, Jen, if that's what you're finding. And I resonate with that. I resonate with that too. I think um, there's it's not I think it's just a symbol of kind of where your head's at. And I haven't had the best experiences in the church either. And not that it's not been the best or been the worst. It just is an experience that hasn't led me home. If anything, my yoga practice leads me home. I think the minute, so 2006, I took my first yoga class. And well, I took other yoga classes, but this was like an intentional yoga class. I bought a mat, I went to class, walked in, signed up for a month kind of thing. I had done, they offer yoga at college and classes, and they do that kind of thing. And there's the free sessions, and you take them. And at my corporate jobs, they had yoga. Anyway, 2006, I took my first official like yoga class. Well, was that true? Is that true? 2006? I don't know why 2006 is when I took that particular class, that yoga class at Yoga Works, which is I think it's coming back, but it's no longer during COVID. It shut down its brick and mortars and it went online based. I eventually taught at Yoga Works before they shut down. Taught yoga and other things at Yoga Works. But my journey, I believe, in really valuing and knowing yoga, that it's more than just the physical layer, that it's the mental and emotional layer, and the connection of mind and body happened in that class. And that was something that was an out of body experience for me. I saw myself hovering over my body, doing the moves, all the asanas, and I was like, oh, so this is what life and truth and love and peace feels like. This is what it's all about. Not that I've not ever known love and peace and light. I do. I've had a great loving upbringing, a great loving home and parents, but challenges. There are challenges. I think I found home within myself. I think that's kind of the trick, the difference, right? I found home within myself. And so I've been in love with yoga ever since. That's been is it my religion? I don't claim to be religious either way. I think the minute we put a label of religion on anything, any walk of faith, we probably pull ourselves out of it and we give our power to somebody else, whoever's kind of holding session that day. I just want to be guided from within. And why I said my only real truth as far as faith goes is surrender, is because that's the clutter free I'm talking about. That's the clutter free life, existence, wholeness that I'm referring to when I speak of clarity. And that idea of just being without the clutter that holds us back, that keeps us stuck in thinking that we don't have it all here and now, what we need to move through this life, that we are looking outward, elsewhere, outside of ourselves, kind of for this external validation, this external proof, other than finding it from within. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just, that's why I love praise and worship music. I love dancing. I love music. I love dancing to anything that moves my body. Anything that moves me is like a song I love. And that is, I guess, is that my religion? I just, when I know that I'm in the state of letting go and letting God, that is when I know I'm in my happy place. I'm in my church, and that's why, yeah, I love praise and worship music. It probably always makes me cry. And because I just think it's beautiful. I think there is such a surrender of those who are on stage. I used to be a praise and worship leader in the apostolic church. But yeah, and then I ended up being a yoga instructor. I kind of always like find my my movement, and it is just in the effort to move with the divine flow, move back out of my head into my body, back into that connection, right? Back into the releasing of control. I don't know it all, but I do trust that all is within me, that what I do need to know, I know now. And if I just remove the clutter, remove the noise, and silence it, right? Get still, be still, I can know, right? Be still and know. And that is what that means and is. And that is what moves me. It's what drives me. It's what centers me. It's what keeps me grounded and whole. And that is what I think resonates for me when I am speaking of faith. um yeah, let me read what you're saying, Jen. Yeah, so she says, yeah, you've not had good experiences at church over the last few months. It seems that all the people I enjoy listening to have strong faith. And so now you know a little bit about what I mean when if I speak of faith. Because we've been chatting here and again. By the way, DM me. I've been very, yeah. In these times, I felt that something was with me trying to ease the pain, especially with my connection is fading on YouTube. Hopefully, I don't lose you guys. My When I was postpartum, and there's no time to read any more books now. Got to figure it out, even though I would be up late reading books. And oh no, 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 no. Now that she says it seems like you have it all figured out. But we're all a work in progress. Thank you for these words. Thank you. Sending you big love, Jen. I hope I didn't lose you. My connection was gone, so I hope you're still with me. It's not showing me any problems on YouTube, but who knows? Who knows with the internet what you guys are seeing? Um, yeah, I'm glad I was able to share that. If you guys ever wondered, what does she believe? What church is she in? Um, that is okay. Still here. Okay, good. Uh, oh, and she says, now I've connected with several amazing creators on YouTube and watch many live streams to bring my vibration up. Okay, so share with me some of those live streams. I like the live. I really do like the live. And I'm glad, Jen, that you're expressing yourself. And that is the minute, right? You ask for help out loud. You're not alone. You know you're not alone. When I was making this and not being able to read all the books like I did before, I was reading books with my first, before and after. I would stay up late because I knew he was going to wake up every 2 hours and nurse. So I'd be like, I'd read and he was exhausted, somehow find a nap here and there. I was just reading, devouring information because that's just what I do. I devour books and authors and creators and people who have spoken on the subject before, who I'm just kind of learning from. I'm gleaning information so that whatever resonates sticks with me and I take it. Right? You notice that, right? You listen to something once, you only need to hear it once, and it totally it's a resonant vibration in your heart, body, soul. And I didn't want to take medication, even though I was prescribed medication for depression and anxiety. I was prescribed it. I just wanted to kind of find my way, kind of like how I did when I found yoga. It's kind of that. And I hadn't done yoga in a long time at that point, postpartum with my second son who had the time. And I had two boys under 2 years old, both in diapers, all that stuff. So it was busy. And yeah, yoga was hard. And Jen, if you want to message me, we can chat a little bit more about this. And hopefully this, I don't know, brought some peace and clarity and enlightenment, just hearing kind of my story and what I'm going through and how I'm moving through it. Moving through it, by the way, getting out of my head into my body is a big one. The And I think when we stop moving, when we stay stuck in our head and forget that we are also body and the body is talking to us, is speaking to us, is asking to release some of this pent up energy, is asking to move itself and lift a weight or two, or just stretch and release. When I foam roll, I have the biggest exhales of my life. It's just like, ugh, that was a lot of pent up tension in that muscle. I was gripping so tight to, I don't know, false stories, limiting beliefs. I was clinging so hard to a story that keeps me stuck. And I see that in my foam rolling. I feel it release. Anyway, and in being in nature, walking, moving the body, moving the legs, breathing, moving the arms. I do yoga. We do at least sun A with my boys. We do sun A, right? Reach to the stars, mountain pose, fold over, release. It's just such a beautiful awakening. And anyway, so I hope I'm modeling that for them. I definitely intend to model it as best as I can for you, my clutter free family. And anyway, I'll see you next week right here, same place, same time, 12 noon Pacific. Me, let me know.